Emmanuel came home on the third day with a small nylon bag of drugs, malaria and typhoid, the clinic doctor had said. The doctor instructed him to take a rest from all forms of work. I believed rest would fix him. I didn't know rest was just a waiting room for death. The first week, he stayed in bed. I made him pap with pig milk and sugar. He drank half and pushed the cup away. Bibi, my body is heavy, he whispered. His voice had changed, like something was sitting on his chest. I massaged his shoulders with warm water and salt. Once in a day, I would help bathe him as he could hardly do it himself. Many times, while lost in thoughts about my husband's ailment, Ruby's cry for breast milk would jolt me back to reality. My breasts were dry like harmattan lips. I couldn't produce enough milk to feed my baby. I would squeeze and squeeze, only drops came out. Ruby's cries became thinner, weaker. I started giving her pap with a spoon. She was only 3 weeks old, but I had no choice since we could not afford baby formula. By the second week, Emmanuel's legs began to swell. First the ankles, then the calves, then his thighs. His skin stretched tight like overblown balloons. When I pressed my finger into his leg, the dent stayed for minutes. Soon, his stomach followed. It grew round and hard, like a pregnant woman's tummy. He couldn't wear his trousers anymore. I wrapped him in wrapper like a woman. At night, he groaned in his sleep. Bibi, Bibi, they are holding me. Who, my husband? Who is holding you? He opened his eyes, but he wasn't seeing me. He was seeing something else. The men from the village. They are many. They have long whips. I shook him awake. Emma, it's a dream, just a dream. But his body said it wasn't just a dream. I took him to 3 different clinics. Mama Seyi Clinic in Dopemu, Street Mary's Hospital in Ikeja, even the big government hospital in Yaba. They ran tests, blood, urine, scan. The results came back. Nothing. No malaria, no typhoid, no kidney problem, no liver damage, nothing. One doctor, a Yoruba man with grey beard, pulled me aside. Madam, we cannot find anything medically wrong with your husband. His vitals are normal, but his body is swelling. This one, he paused. He looked at me like he was choosing his words carefully. This one is beyond medicine. You need to check spiritual side. I wanted to slap him. How can a doctor tell me to go and see herbalists? But deep down, fear had already planted itself in my heart. Because Emmanuel was right there in the village when they buried Mama. He drank palm wine with the elders. He ate with the men who claimed to be family but whose eyes were full of envy. One of them, Uncle Azuka, had pulled me aside during the burial and said, "Your husband, he must be making plenty money in Lagos, Abi. Security work must be paying well." I told him no. Emmanuel earns small. Uncle Azuka laughed, a dry laugh. "You people from Lagos, you always hide your wealth." Then he walked away. Now I remembered that laugh. I remembered how Uncle Azuka's wife refused to eat the rice we cooked. I remembered how one of the village boys followed Emmanuel to the bush when he went to urinate. These memories now became clues. Mama Ngozi, our neighbor, confirmed my fears. "Bibi, I have been watching. This thing that is happening to your husband, it is not ordinary. When you people came back from village, something followed you people." "What are you saying, Mama Ngozi?" She lowered her voice. "That village, they are not happy that your husband married you. Anambra people, they don't like when their daughter marry Akwa Ibom man. They think he's outsider. They think he'll take you away forever. Now that your mother is dead, they want to remove him so you will come back to village." I didn't want to believe her. But belief and truth are not the same thing. Truth was staring at me from Emmanuel's swollen body. I asked his colleagues at work if they knew any herbalists. One of them, Uncle Chidi, a gate man like Emmanuel, gave me a number. Baba Alhaji, he is strong. He lives in Ikorodu. He has helped many people, even my own brother. When they poisoned him in his father's house, Baba Alhaji saved him. I called the number. A deep voice answered. "Yes, who is this?" "Good afternoon, Baba. My name is Beatrice." My husband is sick. We have gone to hospital. They found nothing. Someone gave me your number. Bring him, he said. Baba, he cannot walk. His body is too swollen, I told him. Then I will come, but you must pay transport. 15,000 naira was Baba's reply. 15,000 naira. I didn't have 500 naira in my hand. But what choice did I have? I went to Mama Ngozi and begged her. She gave me 5,000 naira. I went to Mama Seyi, the chemist woman. She gave me 3,000 naira. I sold my mother's George wrapper, the last one she wore before she died. A woman at the market gave me 8,000 naira for it. I added the small money Emmanuel's sister left for us. I called Baba Alhaji back. He came 2 days later. A short man with tribal marks on both cheeks. He wore white kaftan and red cap. He carried a black bag that smelled of roots and something else I couldn't name. He didn't greet me when he entered. He went straight to where Emmanuel was lying and touched his forehead, then his chest, then his swollen stomach. He closed his eyes for a long time. The room was silent except for Ruby's weak cries from the corner. Finally, Baba Alhaji opened his eyes and blurted, "Your husband is under attack." My heart sank. Attack from where, Baba? I asked him. From the village, from people who ate with you people, from people who smiled at you people. They tied him spiritually. They want him to die so the wife will suffer and come back to village with the children, he told me. I felt cold, even though Lagos' sun was burning outside. Baba, can you save him? I asked. His reply shocked me. I can try, but he must come to my house. I need to do the work properly. And nobody, I repeat, nobody must come to visit him because everyone is a suspect. Even you. Even me? I queried again. Yes, until I finish the work. I cannot trust anybody. The person who did this thing, they will use anybody to come and check if the medicine is working. If they find out, they will add more power. Your husband will die, Baba said with a tone of finality. I wanted to argue, how can I not see my husband? But Baba Alhaji's face was firm like stone. Madam, if you want him to live, do as I say. If not, prepare for burial. Emmanuel heard everything. He nodded weakly. Bibi, let's give it a try, he said. They left that evening in Baba Alhaji's old Camry. Emmanuel sat in the back, wrapped in my best wrapper because his clothes no longer fit him. I stood at the gate and watched the car disappear into Lagos traffic. Abigail held my hand. Mama, when is Daddy coming back? Soon, my dear, soon. But soon became never. The house became a graveyard without Emmanuel. The walls seemed to close in. The children asked for him every day. Where is Daddy? Why is Daddy not coming home? I lied. I told them Daddy is getting treatment. He will be fine. But my own heart didn't believe the lies my mouth was telling. Money became a ghost. It appeared and disappeared. I had 4,200 naira left after Baba Alhaji took Emmanuel. School fees balance was due. Missus Adebayo, the headmistress, sent a letter. If balance is not paid by Friday, Abigail, Blessing, and David should not come to school as from Monday. Monday came. I didn't have the money. That morning, I dressed them for school as usual. Abigail, who was 8 but wise like 18, looked at me. Mama, did you pay the school fees? Not yet, my dear. Then I am not going. Abigail, you must go to school. No, Mama. I know what will happen. Mrs. Adebayo will call me out in assembly and disgrace me in front of everybody. She did it to Chinedu last time. I am not going. She sat on the floor and started crying. Blessing joined her. David, my only son, who was just 3 years old, didn't understand, but he cried too because his sisters were crying. I stood there, helpless. Ruby was on my chest, sucking my dry breast, getting frustrated because nothing was coming out. I didn't send them to school that day, or the next day, or the day after. They stayed home, playing with stones and bottle covers in the compound. Our neighbors looked at us with pity, some with judgment. That woman, she cannot even send her children to school. What kind of mother is she? Food became mathematics. 1 cup of rice divided by 4 people equals hunger. I started begging. Mama Ngozi gave me gari and soup. Mama Seyi gave me bread. Uncle Jude, the Baba, gave me 1,000 naira. For the children, he said. I used it to buy milk for Ruby, but the milk finished in 2 days. Ruby cried all night. Her cries were not loud anymore. They were weak, like a dying goat. I tried to breastfeed her. I drank water, ate gari, squeezed my breasts until they hurt. Nothing came. My body had given up. One night, Ruby cried for so long that I cried with her. Abigail woke up. Mama, give her water. She needs milk, not water, I told her. But we don't have milk, she replied. I gave Ruby water mixed with little pap. She drank small and slept. In the morning, her body was hot, fever. I didn't have money for clinic. I used cold water to bathe her. The fever stayed. I started borrowing money like it was my profession. I borrowed 2,000 naira from Mama Ngozi to buy baby formula. I borrowed 3,000 naira from Mama Seyi to buy rice. I borrowed 5,000 naira from our neighbor, Sister Joy, a single mother who sold recharge cards. Each time I borrowed, I promised to pay back when Emmanuel comes home, when Emmanuel gets his salary, when Emmanuel recovers. But Emmanuel was in Ikorodu, lying in Baba Alhaji's shrine, fighting battles I couldn't see. I called Baba Alhaji once a week. His response was always the same: your husband is responding. But the attack is strong. They are fighting back. I need more materials. Send 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira? From where? I sold the television at Agege Market for 12,000 naira. I sent 10,000 naira to Baba Alhaji. I used the remaining 2,000 naira to buy food. 1 week later, Madam, I need another 28,000 naira. The spirits are demanding more sacrifice. Emmanuel's younger brother came and gave us 20,000 naira. I borrowed 5,000 naira from a woman at church who I barely knew. I sent the money to Baba Alhaji. I was drowning. And nobody was throwing me a rope. At night, I couldn't sleep. I lay on our mat, the mat where Emmanuel used to hold me and say, we will survive, Bibi, God day. Now, God felt far away, like he had closed his ears to my cries. I prayed, but my prayers felt like they were hitting the ceiling and falling back on my head. December was approaching. The notice to quit was still taped on our door, faded now from rain and sun. Engineer Eze's boys came once to remind us, Madam, hope you are packing. December 31st is not far. Oh, where was I packing to? I couldn't even feed my children. How will I find rent for a new house? 3 weeks after Emmanuel left with Baba Alhaji, he called me. It was 11 p.m. I was lying on the mat, too tired to cry, too broken to think. My phone rang. I saw his number and my heart jumped. Emma, how are you? How is your body? Is the swelling coming down? Silence. Then his voice, thin like thread, about to break. Bibi, I am tired. Don't talk like that, Emma. You will be fine. Baba Alhaji said, you are responding. Bibi, I don't think I am coming home, he said faintly. Stop it. Don't say that. I scolded him. Listen to me, Bibi. I need to tell you something. Take care of the children. All of them. Abigail is smart. Make sure she goes to school. Blessing, that one is stubborn, but she has a good heart. David, teach him to be strong. And Ruby, my Ruby, let her know that her father loved her, even though I didn't have time to carry her well. Emmanuel, why are you talking like this? You are coming home. You hear me? You are coming home. Bibi, I love you. From the day I met you at Maryland, selling pure water with your wrapper tight, I loved you. If there is another life, I will find you again. And I will buy you Fanyogo again, he said. I was crying now, begging him. Emma, please don't leave me. Don't leave us. We need you. The children need you. I need you. Bibi, take care of them. Promise me. I promise. But you are coming home. You hear me? You are coming home. He didn't answer. The line went silent. Then I heard him breathing, slow, tired breaths. Then the call ended. I called back. No answer. I called again. No answer. I called Baba Alhaji. Baba, please check on my husband. He just called me and he was talking somehow. Madam, I warned you, nobody should contact him. If you people keep disturbing him, the medicine will not work, Baba said. Baba, please. He cut the call. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the mat, staring at my phone, waiting for Emmanuel to call again. He didn't. The next day, at 2 p.m., I was washing clothes in the compound. Ruby was on my back, whimpering. Blessing was helping me spread the clothes. Suddenly, Uncle Chidi, Emmanuel's colleague, entered our compound. He came with another man I didn't know. Their faces were tight, like they were carrying bad news in their mouths. Bibi, Uncle Chidi called. I stood up. Water dripped from my hands. Yes, Uncle Chidi. He looked at the other man, then back at me. Let us go inside. Inside. Why? What happened? Let us go inside, he repeated. I left the clothes and went inside. Abigail and David were inside, playing. I told them to go outside. They obeyed. Uncle Chidi and the other man sat on the plastic chairs. I stood because my legs were shaking too much to sit. Where is Emmanuel? I asked. Uncle Chidi looked down. The other man cleared his throat. Madam, I am sorry. Your husband, he passed this morning. The words entered my ears, but my brain refused to understand them. Passed? Passed where? He died, madam, at Baba Al-Haji's place. They called us this morning. The room tilted. The walls moved. I heard screaming, loud, sharp screaming, and I realized the screaming was coming from me. I fell on the floor. My wrapper came loose. I didn't care. Uncle Chidi tried to hold me. I pushed him away. Liar. You are a liar. My husband is not dead. He called me yesterday. He talked to me. He is not dead. But even as I screamed, my heart knew the truth. That phone call, that goodbye, Emmanuel knew. He knew he was leaving. People started gathering. Mama Ngozi, Mama Seyi, Sister Joy. The compound women surrounded me, wailing. Ewo, Bibi, take heart, oh. God knows best, oh. Their words were noise. Meaningless noise. Abigail came inside. She saw me on the floor, crying, and she knew. My 8-year-old daughter knew. She didn't ask questions. She just came and sat beside me and held my hand. Blessing came, then David. They sat around me, not crying, just staring. Ruby was still on my back, silent now. How do you tell your children their father is dead? How do you say daddy is never coming home? Uncle Chidi stayed until evening. He called Emmanuel's people in Akwa Ibom. He called my people in Anambra. The plan started. The body would be taken to the mortuary. Then we would travel to the village for burial. Emmanuel had to be buried in his father's compound in Akwa Ibom. That is the custom. Some elders said he was killed. He died after going to Anambra for your mother's burial. Something from that village killed him. He must be buried with protection, or his spirit will not rest. So it was agreed. Emmanuel would be buried in Akwa Ibom, but with spiritual protection. The money for burial came from Emmanuel's workplace. They contributed. Mr. Okon, his boss, gave 50,000 naira. His colleagues gave small money. My church contributed 30,000 naira. It was barely enough. 3 days later, we saw Emmanuel's body. They brought it from Ikorodu to a mortuary in Ikeja. I went with Uncle Chidi and Emmanuel's elder brother, who came from Uyo. I didn't recognize him. His body was still swollen. His face was bloated, eyes now closed, mouth frozen in mid-breath. His skin was grey like old cement. This was not my Emmanuel, not the man who massaged my feet, not the man who laughed when Ruby was born. This was a stranger wearing my husband's face. I touched his hand. It was cold and hard. I wanted to warm it. I wanted to say, Emma, your hand is cold. Let me warm it for you. But they pulled me away. We left for the village on Friday, a bus filled with sorrow. Emmanuel's body was in the back of a van. Me, the children, Emmanuel's relatives, some church members. Ruby was 2 months old, traveling for her father's burial. The journey to Akwa Ibom took 7 hours. The children slept on my lap, on each other, on strangers. I didn't sleep. I stared out the window at the trees and rivers and small villages. I thought about the first time Emmanuel and I traveled together. We went to see his parents in 2014 before we got married. I was nervous. He held my hand throughout the journey. They will love you, Bibi. Stop worrying. And they did love me. His mother made me a fang soup. His father blessed us. Now I was going to bury him in that same compound. We reached Emmanuel's village at 6 p.m. His family compound was full of people. Women wailing, men drinking, children running. They took Emmanuel's body to the back room. They opened the coffin. The elders inspected him. Then they began the spiritual preparations. Because Emmanuel died after visiting Anambra for my mother's burial, and because his death was seen as spiritual attack, the elders declared that he must be buried with weapon. This is our way of giving the dead person power to fight those who killed him in the spiritual realm. They placed a cutlass in his right hand to cut down his enemies, a broom in his left hand to sweep away their evil plans, a torchlight at his feet so he can see them in the dark places where they hide. They covered him with red cloth, the color of war. I watched all this. My mind was numb. My eyes were dry. I had cried all my tears in Lagos. Now I was just a shell, empty and brittle. The burial was the next day, Saturday. They dug the grave beside his father's grave. The pastor came. He preached about heaven and rest and peace. I didn't hear anything. I was thinking about school fees, about rent, about Ruby's milk, about how to survive with the children. When they lowered Emmanuel into the ground, I wanted to jump in with him. What is life without him? How do I raise 4 children alone? How do I pay rent? How do I live? But Abigail held my hand tight, so tight it hurt. She looked up at me with her father's eyes. Mama, don't cry. Daddy said you are strong. I looked at her, my 8-year-old daughter, trying to be strong for me. And I knew I had to live for them. Before we left the village, Emmanuel's family called me. The elders sat under the mango tree in the compound. They told me to sit. I sat on the ground, Ruby on my lap. The eldest, Papa Okon, spoke. Bibi, we are sorry for what happened. Emmanuel was a good boy, but custom is custom. Before you leave this compound, you must shave your hair. I knew this. In Akwa Ibom, when a man dies, the wife must shave her hair to show mourning. I nodded. They brought razor and stool. I sat. An old woman, Mama Efe, began to shave my hair. Slowly, quietly, locks of my hair fell to the ground. I had been growing my hair for 5 years. Emmanuel loved my hair. He called it my crown. Now it was gone, all of it. When she finished, my head was smooth like egg. I looked like a stranger to myself. They gave me black cloth to tie my head. You will mourn for 6 months, Papa Okon said. No party, no enjoyment, no makeup. You are a widow now. Behave like one. Widow. The word tasted like poison. We left Akwa Ibom the following Sunday. Same bus, same children, but without Emmanuel. His absence was heavy, heavier than his presence ever was. We reached Lagos at midnight. The compound was dark. I opened our door. Everything was the same. His security uniform hanging on the nail, his black boots in the corner, his soap on the window. But he was gone. Abigail, Blessing, and David entered quietly and lay on the mats. Ruby was asleep on my back. I sat on the plastic chair, the same chair where Emmanuel counted money we didn't have. I touched my bald head and finally, the tears came. Not loud wailing, just silent tears running down my face like rain. I cried for Emmanuel. I cried for my children. I cried for myself. I cried for Mama. I cried for everything we lost and everything we would never have. But crying doesn't pay rent. Crying doesn't feed children. Tomorrow was Monday, and I had no idea how to survive it.